All right. Hi, everybody. We are live here. I'm Coach Potter, and I'm with the one and only Coach Ray Bello. Coach Bello, how are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Oh, really good. I am so excited to have you here. It's something I've wanted to do for such a long time, and I just think you'd be such a resource for our parents and our student athletes. And we're just going to talk about college recruiting today, and I'm going to pick your brain. And does that sound good?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready.
So, Coach Bello coaches the women's varsity, or you can't really say varsity in college, but the volleyball team at NJIT. And let's just start with how you doing. How's everything going for what's going on in the world and everything? How you doing?
Good, man. I'm just trying to, maintain here. And, right now it's for us, it would be my time to be out, flying out there, getting, all my recruits ready. So right now for us, we just, on a million phone calls every week, and that's just what it is. So it's phone calls, emails, because, we can't travel anymore. So.
Yeah, so you've really had a pretty unique circumstance in the sense that you've had to do, because this is your big recruiting period, right? And it's opening up in opens up in 1 week.
Yep.
Is that right?
So this is so what they did was they shut down everything, and they saying June 15th now, but even now they're saying now they backed it now to June 30th. So we can't do anything until June 30th. So we got a quiet period, what we call a quiet period, until June 30th. So we can't even talk to kids live face to face until June 30th. But we can do FaceTime, we do all that other stuff, which is good.
Okay. And Coach Basso joined us. He's going to join us. So I'm going to bring him into the chat right now. There's Coach Basso. And Coach Basso coaches the girls varsity lacrosse team at Hunter, and one of our really good high school coaches. And obviously the world famous Coach Bello is here. Coach Basso, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. So I really want to talk about like three different things about college recruiting and with the parents and the students, and then also from a high school coach's point of view. So I was wondering if we could start like with the parents or just college recruiting in general. Like, for a D1 school, what are you looking for when you go out and for college recruits and at your school?
The first thing actually we look for, it's a little different for us because for us, it's we are academically based school. So for me, I'm always looking for academics first because obviously not everybody's going to go pro. We're not, dealing with Penn State here kind of a deal. So what I like to do is I like to look at grades, number one, because if you don't have the grades, then I can't even look at you. And then the second part is, depends on what our needs are. So our needs might be, hey, I'm looking for an outside hitter, and she's all around six rotation player. I'm just talking volleyball, but if she's a six rotation player, then that's what I'm looking for. Then I'll just be recruiting those kind of people. But academics number one, and then we look athletically second.
And how early, I'm kind of jumping around, but just in the college recruiting, how early are you going and starting to look at kids now?
We're looking at them ninth grade. So we actually look ninth grade, 10th grade, we cannot talk to. 11th grade, we could talk to email only. And then obviously seniors will be recruited way before that. So we're not looking at any seniors now as high school. We won't look at any seniors.
Yeah, and I think that's a good time to say on the Hunter website we have a great PowerPoint that Coach Bello made that you can look up, and it's right on the website. It really breaks down everything about college recruiting. That's really good. I just want to say that, and I'll talk about it afterwards too. So let's sort of I thought we could go break down from the parents. Because over the last, I think, 3 weeks, we were just talking. I got a lot of emails from parents. So I kind of want to go over these roles of the parents, then the student athletes, then these coaches, high school coaches. So what's your advice to parents as they come to me as an athletic director or Coach Basso as a player? What's your advice to parents on how to handle college recruiting?
My advice is, number one, they have to be super truthful with their kids. If you have a kid that's playing club or have a kid that parent should be talking to the club director, that parent should be talking to the club coach, just to kind of get a level of where their kid is as far as like what division they should be playing at. Because there are sometimes that the kids, they say, "Oh yeah, I want to go to the University of, Nebraska," and he's not even close to Nebraska. You know what I mean? So they have to be in touch with their coaches, whether it's high school coaches or club coaches. So if Bassel has a kid that's playing lacrosse, and Bassel would know the level that this kid is on. So if the parents reach out to Bassel and say, "Hey, Bassel, where do you see my kid? Do you see a Division 1, Division 2?" Bassel can pretty much give her around about, what level should she playing on, and then they take it from there. So parents should be very engaged with the coaches of their school at that point or club at that point.
Now, are you wanting parents to so as they start identifying their kid wants to play college sports or their son or daughter wants to play college sports, do you want them to reach out to you? Do you want the parents to have that contact with the coach?
No. Absolutely not. I don't want to deal with parents. I really don't. I want to deal with the kid only, or if I'm dealing with the coaches, because the parents are not the one who I'm going to be dealing with when they get here. And the coaches are the one who's going to give me the actual truth of where, the level lies with this person or this kid. If he's going to be a good kid, because, hey, this kid is going to be awesome. Parents are kind of biased. Obviously, they're going to tell me that they can, great no matter what.
Yeah.
But the coach is actually going to be, the real point of where I want to go.
Okay, so a parent should definitely go through a coach at the high school level or a club coach, and then
do not reach out to college coaches. We will not respond to parents at all.
Okay. Zero. That's good to know. And Basso, if you have any, Coach Basso, if you have anything, just throw questions in.
That was one of the things that we did with a couple of our players. Is Bello, when you were at Hunter, you and I discussed it, and we've ways to communicate for myself, to communicate and reach out to coaches, and then touch back with the parents, let them know what the coaches said. We kind of worked without the parents a lot of the times. The parents had feedback. They gave us information, but it was me to the college coaches or college programs, and then back to the parents through me. So we're more of an ambassador, I guess, as a coach as well.
And building on that, like Division 1 to Division 3 to Division 2, and that you're kind of, if that parent do you suggest that parent to just dream big and go for D1 every time and kind of let it funnel down?
No, absolutely not. Because if you're not a D1 type of caliber, then you're wasting your time. Seriously, like there are kids that send me tape. I can maybe look at 2 plays. I maybe look at 10 seconds, 15 seconds of the tape, and I'm going to turn it off whether, I know that the person going to be where I need it to be, or I'm just going to it's no good. Because I will only watch 10, 15 seconds of a video clip just to see if the girl is good. And if I know that she's on the level, then I'm going to continue to watch. But if I see something like just not even in the ballpark, I wouldn't even waste my time. So.
And what's the difference between that D3 world and the D1, that recruiting? I mean, what's the difference there obviously it's a massive difference, but for you as a coach on D1 level compared to when you coach at a D3 level, what's the difference of you contacting the kids? Are you reaching out to them more? Are you talking to everybody more, the parents, the kids? Are you starting earlier? Like, what is that?
No, I talk to them. We try to get them as early as possible. Remember, we are mid-sized schools, so for us, we have to go and grab them and get them before the Penn State get them or somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The difference is that the speed of the game and the size of the kid are so much bigger. To be honest with you, and not saying that bigger in a bigger way, like you're 6'2", you play Division 1. No. You can be. I'm putting a girl at 5'9" right now, at 5'8", probably one of the best kids that she can probably play anywhere she wants. But she, it depends on money is number one. So if you got a kid that's getting offers from other schools, then that's going to be a big deal for us because then we have to compete with another school. But if I have a girl who's looking at Division 3. And then you kind of look at Division 1, it really doesn't match up. If I ask you what schools are you looking at, and you tell me all these Division 3 schools, why are you looking at our school? You know what I'm saying? So money is obviously the big factor here too.
Yeah.
If I'm putting $200,000 on the table for you to go to school and play for us, then you have to be one of the top caliber kids. So.
Okay, that's really good. And any other advice for the parents as we get started here? Any other thoughts about parents as they come to me and ask me, okay, my son wants to play Division One, and then I kind of set them on a little bit of a path. I encourage them for coaching clinics, get seeing the contact. Any other good advice for parents?
Just I think for us, the parents have to invest in their kids. So, for instance, you said a good thing. You said, "Hey, put them to camps, get them to these clubs," because in honesty, we really don't go out to high school that much. We really don't, we don't really bother with the high school level because it's so big. So we try to condense it down. So what we do is usually we more into the clubs because all the clubs play in one area. If we're all playing in DC, I can look at 350 teams and everybody is pretty much on a good level. So if the parents are dealing with, if my kid wants to play, not saying that they have to play club to be on a college level, but in order to get looked at, you got to be on some type of different platform. So whether it's $6,000 to play for the season, $3,000 to play for the season, for club, I think is important. So if I'm giving any advice, the parents, number one, they have to stay out of the business of the kid as far as reaching out and doing all the other stuff. Let the kids do that. The kids are very savvy right now. They tech savvy, they internet savvy. They can get on the internet, shoot an email real quick. The parents don't have to do that. The parents are there just to provide the kid with, the guidance that they know and they understand. But the world is different. College is different from when they went to college. Everything is different. So let the kids try to figure it out because the kids are kind of in the trenches and they're figuring things out. So, the parents just have to step back, let the kids deal with the coaches and deal with that kind of stuff. Because in all reality, we really don't want to deal with the parents at all.
And as a coach, as a college, are you turned on by that? An athlete that is driven, that is contacting you, that is doing all that? You respond to that?
Absolutely. And I give you a great example. We're recruiting 2 girls right now, and we have 1 scholarship. And we're looking to give 1 to 1.
And have you communicated that to those girls?
No, we don't. Yeah. We let them kind of figure it out. So we're recruiting now. We email her, she's right away. She's on point. The other girl takes about a day or 2 to get back. Now, mind you, we're doing nothing now but sitting on our computers and doing that kind of stuff. So we're not out and about. We're not doing that kind of stuff. But the girl that we are emailing, she's not as good as the other girl, right? So you got to remember that. But we are thinking about taking the lesser athlete because she's responding. She checks up on us. She sends us emails. Hey, coach, hope everything's going good with this. Hope family's well. Like, those are the types of kids we want. We want to recruit the whole athlete, not just, a great athlete who has a sucky attitude kind of a deal. So it's good that the students are following up with the coach. Whether, you don't hear back from the coach, you just shoot a quick email, takes you about 2 seconds. Say, hey, coach, how you doing? Just want to check up on you. Just want to see. Maybe if you have a new video, we're going to talk about that later. But maybe if you have a new video, if you have new something, anything, just follow up. I think that's a big deal.
Well, while we're talking about that, so what about social media for kids? What about do you respond to that as a college coach? Do you like this?
We do. And the first thing now, it's like any other job, right? So the first thing now we do, we go to the social media page, right? So obviously that's what we're going to do now. So the kids email us. The first thing we do, seriously, we go to their Instagram page and we see what their, page is. And if we can follow them, we can, like their pictures and stuff like that. So we follow them sometimes that we want to kind of follow who, what they're posting. And some girls will eliminate themselves by doing some not so good posts. So we won't do anything. We would just eliminate them.
Got it. So it's not a bad thing to have kids posting on Instagram, posting on Twitter, kind of their skills and all that. I feel like that is the new world we're in. You guys respond to that.
Yeah, I mean, we want that. So whatever you have and whatever you're showing your skills, like that's what we want. We don't want the bad side of social media. Obviously, there's 2 sides of social media. You can make it a positive or negative. And we have some 16-year-old girls, 17-year-old girls out in a party with some red cups and, just partying and doing that and posting that stuff. I mean, obviously that's a red flag for us.
Yeah.
So you see role models, you see kids that are doing, recreational play with their friends and they're doing drills and stuff, and that just steers you towards them more.
Yeah, I agree. And, just so weird because we just had a girl post something that she was doing in her backyard. She made like a makeshift net. She made this makeshift thing, and she's like doing blocking drills. Like, we thought that was fabulous. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Okay, so Basso, you have a question, or did I cut you off?
No, I don't know. I was just pointing that out. Like, there's college players that I follow on Instagram and things like that because they put great drills up.
Yeah.
And they're self-promoting for future, but it's great to see. And there are some high school kids out here in the suburbs that do that too. So it's like, for a college coach, that's great. And also, I guess it would show that their intentions are sports first, or whatever their sport is first, and then they're aware of their public display of what they're putting on social media.
Yeah, it's important.
Well, so to continue that conversation, social media, all that stuff, that does so it kind of goes into their AAU or their travel sports or their high school sports. What you talked about it earlier about travel sports, and you want that. What is your point of view on travel versus high school? You want it kind of all, or what is that?
No,
student athletes ask me, like, should I go? I mean, I encourage them to play travel. Obviously, I'm an athletic director of high school. I want them to play high school athletics. So,
yeah, we talk about, like, how many reps you're gonna get during the high school season, right? So if it's whatever sport it is, lacrosse, volleyball, whatever, like, you're only going to get a certain amount of reps during that season, but then you're going to extend your reps with, a club season or, a travel team or something like that. So you get extra dribbles, you get extra shots. Those are the things that are going to make you better, obviously, right? So we can't just depend on the 2 months of high school sports that you have in 4 years to be where you want to be. We want you to work all year round. I know it sounds selfish, but we want you to do volleyball or whatever sport you want. We want you to do that all year round if you can. So that's the difference between not playing travel and playing, and just playing high school.
But you want them to play high school, obviously.
Absolutely. Yeah, like you're saying, if you don't play high school, then you're gonna have 2 months of no activity, of playing no sport. And what are you doing? Maybe you feel like, hey, I need to focus on my academics. Some kids do that, But if that's the case, then you have to be a super stud. You know what I'm saying? For me to look at you, you have to be a super stud.
And what about playing other sports? Like, do you like a girl that's playing volleyball or a soccer girl that's then going to play lacrosse for Coach Basso in the spring and still able to do travel? Does that up them? Does that up their game a little bit?
Absolutely. I think it makes them more valuable because they are getting so much more, stuff that they don't get from volleyball. So if it's some girl playing lacrosse and her, her footwork, her hand and eye coordination are going to be probably better than most. If she's playing lacrosse, if she's playing another sport, basketball, or she's running track, obviously she's going to be faster than most people. So those things we do look for. So we got to make sure that the biggest question that we ask is, like, what other sports do you play? And if they say no, it's not like a bad thing. But if they tell me, oh, I play lacrosse, I play soccer, that's also a good thing.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, that's really good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, my last big question is, and I get this a lot too. So, how do they get you to see them? Like, if it's soccer or lacrosse, they can email you. They show your videos. I have a good story. My niece just went right to University of Kentucky and just goes right there, and right to the college, the camps that you have just for the recruits. Like, do you come to the schools? Do you encourage those camps at college that you guys have, the recruiting camps? I love that because they're seeing a college coach is going to see them up close for 3 days or 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that earlier. Like, parents have to invest in those camps. Those are the big camps that we want. So most time we hold camps to watch our recruits. That's why schools hold camp. They don't do it for the money. They don't do it for, they want to teach a lot of kids. They want to see what this kid had live. That's the only way we can see them live.
How many kids do you invite to your camps? Like, 20, 30?
No, we invite a whole bunch. Like, we'll get 130, 150 kids, you know. I mean, when I was at Fordham, we got 150 kids, 200 kids. But out of those 150 kids, 15 we were looking at. Actually, like looking at actively recruiting, and that's the only way we can actually see them live at that point, because there's a point in college that you can't go out to see them, but they can come to you and go to your camps and participate in your camps.
And that's obviously that's a paid camp for all the parents.
Yeah, and it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty, expensive too. So you're talking about 3-day camp, $450 for 3 days, But it's totally worth it.
Just for you, this is a separate, just for recruits, kind of.
Correct. And then we'll invite everybody else. Obviously, we got to make it general. We can't just invite just the recruits. We'll invite everybody. So we'll get 100 kids, but 10 of them will be actively recruiting. And maybe it might be one kid that just sneaks out of nowhere and like, wow, where do you come from? So you never know. You know what I'm saying? You go to these camps, you just go all out. Maybe you might get explored. I don't know.
So at NJIT and Fordham, that was a way. That's a great way for a student athlete to be seen. Yes.
Yeah, and when we was at Fordham, that was the only way we would recruit you if you actually came to our camp. Because if you came to our camp, number one, you get to see our campus again. You kind of get the environment of the whole campus life, right? And then number three, we get to kind of see you live. We get to kind of interact with you, coach you. Okay, that's the biggest thing. So me as a coach, I was able to coach these kids as being a counselor or a camp coach. I got to able to engage and see how they respond. And some people are not coachable. I mean, they might be phenomenal athletes, but some of them are not coachable.
Now, in the lacrosse world in the city, there are no club teams, and the camps are really held by like Ivy League schools and stuff, like the better camps. Or the more convenient for the city kid camps, even like Princeton has one. So is it better to really kind of persuade or push to tell the kids, if you're a ninth grader and you really want to go to Penn State, take that car ride and get a hotel for 3 days and go to Penn State's camp? Is it?
That's a good question. But Basso, you would know if that kid is a Penn State kind of, caliber kid, right?
We've had Hunter girls that were, they could play Division I. They probably would prefer to play D3 for schoolwork reasons. But, they could push if they really tried to get to that D1 school. But you're asking a lot of them. Is it going to be that much exposure? Or is the camp just kind of like, if you're looking, you already know you're looking for that person?
No, I think for the kid, it's great no matter what, because then when they get the training from Penn State kids, right, the Penn State coaches, they get training for 3 days. And that's something they can also put on their resume. So if they're not going to Penn State, if they're going to, let's say, Division III school, they put on their resume, like, attended Penn State camp 4 years in a row. Like, that's something I want to see as well. You know what I'm saying? So just because they attended a camp and they're not getting recruited by Penn State doesn't mean like it's a bad thing. I would encourage it no matter what, because the more high level exposure they get, then they come back to you and they come back and they learn so much. Even from the 3 days of camp, they learn a lot.
Well, how many coaches are attending these big camps at different places? A lot? Are you getting? Can you go to D1 camp and then be seen by a D3 school?
Yeah, we usually hire all college coaches. So let's say we have a staff of 7. 3 of them would be Division I coaches. 2 of them will be Division II coaches, and 3 will be Division III coaches. So we kind of split it up, where we have to give everybody a fair share. So just because you're not looking at Division I, you might get 3 coaches that's there for Division III school that you might that might be interesting to you. And like if it was at Hunter College, we had a coach at Hunter College pick up a couple of kids at some camps that didn't really know about Hunter College until they got to the camp.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. And what about the combine? So like the academic camps or combines where are the big travel tournaments and all that, you're at all that stuff too. And then lastly, and do you still go to high school games?
We usually don't.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why, because like I said before, like the high schools are so much bigger and the levels are so spread out. whether, sometimes if we go to high school kid, we ask the kid, hey, what's a good game to go to? Because sometimes the other team could be not good at all, and you just watch a kid run around and, do that kind of stuff. So I say, if we're really interested in the girl and if she's local, unless she's a stud and we really, really want her, we will usually go to their club tryouts or their club practice.
What about the big combines with all those, you get those emails and it's like everybody, maybe more for basketball. I'm thinking, I know that happens in basketball. I always send my kids to those in basketball. So all the like elite schools, like the Ivies and the D3 schools are there.
Yeah, we do that. I go to those things, but they don't help me too much.
Too many kids?
No, they don't help me too. Well, there's too many kids. Plus, you got kids that never played with kids before, right? So if I have a kid that never played with a kid before, and whether it's basketball, if I'm passing this kid, I know this kid's going to cut. I know how to pass the ball to him because I know where he's going. It's going to be tough,
Yeah.
So even in volleyball, like, okay, I got a setter who can't really set the ball. So you got an outside hitter who's swinging at these balls, looks horrible, but they're actually a really good player. But the sets are just not there. So it's hard to engage in those combines because those combines really don't tell you the truth of the actual player.
Any other advice for student athletes? Any other? I guess the last big question I always get is like, how do you know? Like, does a coach just say like, look, do you need the verbal? Do you need the written? Do you look, we want you to come here. Do you put an offer? What is that like, that moment?
We do put offers in for the girls that we really want. So right now we have a girl that we really want. We're going to offer her next week. So it's something that comes down to like, okay, here's our situation. We're going to offer you full scholarship, blah, blah, blah. We give her the whole rundown and we give her a list of things to do. If she gets it done and we give her about, we like to have them visit on campus right now because we're in a different situation. So we're going to actually do a virtual tour. And if she likes it, we're going to usually give them 48 hours to kind of respond to our offer. And if they, obviously they take it, then we move on. But if they don't, some people have said no to our offers too. So, not a lot of people say no to two.
And how is that decision made? What are we looking at behind the scenes? Are you guys in a war room?
Yeah.
Discussing, by position, by player, by what's it behind the scenes look like?
Yeah, it's pretty weird because me and the other coaches, we all go by and we all have our favorites. Obviously, we have who we want, and then we'll sit on a round table. Actually, next week we're going to sit on a round table. We have 36 kids for two scholarships for 2021. 36 kids. We narrowed it down from 156 kids that we actually contact, call, email. They got back to us. 156 kids. We narrowed back down to 36, and we got rid of half of those kids that they didn't respond, right? So we got down to 36. So now we will sit down and we sit at a round table next week, and we'll have about a 4 or 5 hour conversation on about breaking it down to top 15. Then we'll break it down to top 15, and then that will be another discussion. That will be another 3 hour round table. Okay, now we got to get it down to 5. So once we get down to 5, we offer the top 2. And then if they reject those offers, then we go back. Then we go down the list. So once we have our 15, we will go top 2 offer, top 2, and then everybody else goes down. So if the top 2 say no, then we go 3, 4. Those say no, then we go to 5, 6. You know what I mean? Or 4, 5.
So you're sitting on 156 kids. The most important thing you can do is make sure you check your email and reply.
That is so important because, like he said, 156 kids. We got rid of half of those for not responding on an email within 48 hours. And we give you about 48 hours to kind of respond to an email. And yeah, we understand that things go on and life is going on, but if these kids now are on their cell phones every day, every minute. If you're not responding like, hey, coach, busy today, I'll get back to you tomorrow, or give me to next week to respond, like something. If you give us nothing, we are crossing you off the list.
And do you like it when they come to your campus? Like, do you want all that announced, or can they just, if they're visiting your campus, can they just stop by and say hi if they're younger in 9th or 10th grade and they're just seeing campuses?
They can, but we can't talk to them. So just understand that 9th and 10th grade, we cannot have a conversation with them. Even with the parents, we can't have a conversation with. So even that when we go to these tournaments, we can't have a conversation with them. Even if they're in 11th grade, we can't have a conversation with them
with their parents or them.
Correct.
So how am I attention as a coach if I have a really strong ninth grader? If I have a really strong ninth grader as a college coach, do I need to send you a letter acknowledging my student? And is it super important to throw video in there, or is video just a little extra that you guys don't look at?
No, I think we are allowed to talk to coaches through email for ninth graders. So like if you have a ninth grader, you email me, hey, I got this ninth grader. I can only talk to you or the club coach about this particular kid until she gets to the 11th grade in that August will be June 30th, 11th grade when she going into the 11th grade. Does that make sense? So 10th grade, then it comes to June 30th, July 1st, then I can email that kid. But if you send me a kid from the ninth grade, I'm gonna put them on the list and we stay having conversations. And video is important because if you think about fundamentally, like if I see fundamental skills in this person, I already know that this person, we know as coaches who's going to be good and who's not going to be good, right? Yeah. So you would know with your eye who's going to be good. So you send me a girl like, hey, especially coming from a coach, I know that it's coming from a valuable source. So it's like, hey, I got this kid, going to be on your level, blah, 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 and we will have a conversation. Yeah.
So you don't want to see a highlight reel either, though. You want to see someone's fundamental skills going through the correct way.
Well, I would like to see highlights at first, just to kind of catch my eye. We talk about like we have 300 videos we have to look at that kids are sending us. If we look at the first 25 seconds of the video and it bores me and it's not like this person is good, I'm just going to just get rid of it. So like some girls, I'll give you an example. I looked at like 3 emails today. One girl had a girl, she outside hitter. The first thing she puts on a video is her serving the ball. So it's literally like a minute of her serving the ball, and I just got rid of the email. You know what I mean? Because I can't look at a minute of somebody serving the ball when you say you're an outside hitter. You know what I mean? So it's very important how you put the video together. It's very important how you do everything. So a ninth grader will come to you, Basso, and you'll be able to kind of help them put something together that's going to be short, right to the point. Like if you're going to give me an email, like a video, it's got to be like, the first 1 minute's got to be, okay, this person's really good. And then I will ask you for more. Hey, do you got game film, or do you got like her just going through motions or something like that? Now I ask you for more.
And what about a coach like so you like being contacted by high school coaches?
Yeah. High school coaches are fine. Actually, if the high school coach reaches out to me, then I know. But the high school coaches have to do the research, right? So if Bassel's reaching out to Columbia, then he has to do his research on what the kid wants to study, what the kid, the level the kid's on, and we discuss how to send emails, and Bassel has sent emails out. So he's got to be the first initial contact, and if that's coming from a high school coach and he took his time to actually do it, I would definitely look at it 100%.
I mean, that's a thing at Hunter. Obviously, we're dealing with all the kids. That's our big advantage. I always tell the kids that they can get into all these schools. So that cuts through a big part of recruiting for you. That's what you're saying, kind of, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to have credibility too. So like somebody like Bassel played in college and played at a high level. Yeah. He would know the level that this person's on. And if coach is a coach, player to player, I know Bassel, if he's going to be, hey, I played the Division I level, I played a high level. Like,
do you want to hear that from the coaches? Do you want to hear that from the coaches in email? Hey,
100%.
I played college. Yeah.
If you're just a physical education teacher, you don't really know the level of where the kid's supposed to be unless you're actually on that level, unless you play that level, unless you coach that level. It's very important. I mean, not even just going to a game. I tell people, have you been to a Division I game before? And they say, no. They don't have seen the level before. So yeah. It's a difference. Big, big difference.
And Basso, how did you choose your school to play? What's your school?
The school I went to, I just reached out. My high school baseball coach said he was familiar with the coach, and he reached out to the coach for me. And I was attending a clinic, a pitching clinic, and that guy, I asked him actually to make a phone call too. So they both reached out to the coach, and the coach called me up and said, we'd love to have you come down and throw. I pitched, so come throw for us. and it kind of just that fell together that way. But the guy that ran the pitching clinic was a former Major League Baseball player, so he threw a lot of weight. Yeah. So when someone like that calls for you, you got Neil Heaton calling saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna, I got a guy. He's got a great arm. It's real live. I want you to pitch for me."
That's good to know.
Yeah.
So the high school coaches, that should be part of their repertoire, really, of helping these kids get to college that are interested in playing. So they really should, for the most part. Are you saying they're a pretty big part of this process? Yeah,
100%. They're the only part.
Or the travel coaches, or both.
Right. But in Bassel's case, he doesn't really have a travel coach. Yeah. You got to lean on Bassel 100%. So there's no club there.
So what I've been trying, would it help? I've been trying to get college level, because I coach girls lacrosse. I want to get college level girls to come do clinics and do like side coaching stuff with me. Is that almost a better option too? Then I should probably be trying to get them to speak, maybe write recommendation letters for my players too. If there's someone that's really strong, get that girl to go. Have a almost
100%. That because remember, you got Division I eyes looking at these kids, and if it's a Division I player, they're always going to go back to a coach, and coach when they see another coach. It's all about networking, right? So the more people that see this kid and they know that it's good, then you have the power to say, hey, can you reach out to so and so and let him know like this person's interested and blah blah blah. And then you get to a certain point, Bassett just have to let go, and the kid has to go and do it on their own. That's where I'm saying that the kids have to really be engaged, that kind of stuff, and the parents are out of it.
So the kids have to really be their self-advocates. They have to go out.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I know we're running out of time, and so in reversing this a little bit, what now from a student athlete's kind of a selfish point of view, from the student athletes, what are they looking for? What would you be your advice to them? What they're looking for? Are they looking for how they feel on a campus, the coaching staff? Are they looking for obviously what school parents went to? What are they looking for? What do you have that conversation with kids?
That's a main conversation we have. So the first thing that I ask is like, well, what are you looking for in the school? Is it a mid-sized school? Is it a big school? Is it a green campus, what we call green campus? That kind of a deal. So we ask these questions, and some kids, some of them don't know. Like, do you want 300 kids in your lecture class? No. Okay, well then let's rule out this big school. So I can say right away, like, okay, NJIT, we don't have a lecture of 300 kids. The most kids we have in our school, our class, is 34 kids. So then I can use that as a lever for me to say like, hey, we don't have these big schools. So the number one thing, I think the kids have to know what type of size of the school, because they can get really overwhelmed by a big school. And if they go into mid-sized school, then this is what they want. Maybe they want to focus on just a certain school. Like for us, it's engineering, right? So engineering or medical, if you want to be a doctor, that kind of stuff, like, then you have to know what you want to study. That's another thing. So some of these kids say, well, I don't know what I want to do, and it's hard. You know what? I'm asking, 15-year-olds, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? The hardest question in the world, because the kids don't really know, and they're like, well, I don't have any idea. You know what I mean? So the parents could help out on that. And like you said, the parents' profession will rub off on the kid, right? So if the parents is a doctor, usually the kids want to be a doctor, right? Sometimes it works the opposite. Sometimes the parents are a doctor. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to have anything to do with being a doctor. So sometimes I got to kind of dig for these kids to find out what they want. But school size, I think, is big. Academic, it's humongous. And obviously the last thing you want to look at is the price. Like, are they willing to pay, $70,000 to go to Tufts, or you want to go pay $10,000 and go to a city school? It's kind of the same education. So, but it depends on what they want. They want a city, they want a suburban area, they want I don't know. There's so many different types of schools out there.
And do you like when they're aggressive coming to you with those questions like, hey, coach, do you want them to pick your brain? Because for instance, like I know, you go to a school, you get the scholarship, they come to you, and then the coach leaves. and then all of a sudden, you're being recruited by a coach as a sophomore, and by the time you're a senior, that coach leaves, but you still go. That's so important. So you don't mind if a kid digs into you a little bit?
No, we actually want that. The kids that we don't want, they don't ask questions. So like if I have to pull teeth to have a conversation with you and talk to you, then we don't want you.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes I had a conversation about 2 days ago. I had to call the girl up. The coach asked me, head coach asked me, hey, how did the conversation go? Oh man, I had to pull teeth to talk to her. She was real good, but the conversation was like crickets. So she didn't really have much to talk about, and she didn't really ask me questions. We didn't have anything written down. The other thing I want to point out is when kids reach out to coaches and they reach out to schools, they have to do the research on the school, right? They have to do the research on the school. So they say, one kid reached out to me and wrote me an email, hey, like I want to do criminal justice. We don't have criminal justice. I see you have criminal justice program. I see you have this. We don't have that program. So what I do, I just delete the email because I know it's not personal, right? So the email wasn't personalized for me. So the one thing I really like is I want to be, I'm interested in studying engineering. I see that NJIT has X, Y, Z, mid-sized school. I really like it, blah, 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 blah. Like, I want you to do your research. If you haven't wasted a minute looking at the website or looking at anything, then I don't want you, because the question I'm going to ask you is going to be about the school. And if you can't answer that, then you didn't do your research. So why should I waste the time?
So what you're saying is it's a job interview. You need to research the company. You need to research where you're going. And then it's also like, for lack of better terms, it's like a date. You want to build a relationship with that coach, so that coach knows you're making a full-time commitment, but also that you're learning what the coach's intentions are. Is he planning on leaving? Is he there for 10 years? Is he there for a year? Like, you need to establish lots of different interview questions for the coach as well as yourself.
That is so true. And I have girls ask me like, hey, are you planning to stay? Like, yeah, of course I'm planning to stay. So, it's just definitely, how it is. I think Potter left us on this call here.
Well, he's gone now.
Yeah, it's me. No, but I think it is an interview. So, it's so important that kids ask me questions. And like I said, I had a girl ask me, hey, are you going to be there the next 3 years? I think I am. Like, I don't think I'm going anywhere. So
I think the biggest change that happened for me as a coach was when I started to think of it as a program and not as the team.
Right.
Like, I started to look down the road and see where is this going, or where are we now, and how can we get to where we want to be. Right. And if you don't look at your college sports experience as a career, then you just look at it as a short-term thing. You're not going to get the full experience you're looking for either.
Right. And that's the other thing. Like, there are sometimes that I tell kids, like, hey, like, listen, we're in a rebuilding stage. Are you willing to come to a school that's going to be rebuilding, or you want to come to a school that's winning already? That's a big deal, because the kids that want to win and, they want to come to a winning program, and we go 1-26 and kids are already sour. They want to leave. So I need to know that right away. So that's a big deal. Like, the program is like, okay, where's this program? Like, what are you doing? We just got in as new coaches, so we're just trying to rebuild everything, from the ground up. So
you're trying to figure out their commitment level, or their desires, even, like.
Right. So if they say, well, like, I've come from a winning club and I win states and I win national championships and all that other stuff, like, that's great. But then you come to NJIT, or do you want to be a difference maker, or do you want to be like on the best team on the bench? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What do you want to do? So sometimes we ask the kids that question, and we want obviously we're not going to get the kids who win the national championships on the club level, because everybody's like going big time, but we might get the third, fourth, the third tier kind of player. But even the third tier player could play high level, and there could be some Division III schools that's playing volleyball that can beat the Division I school easily. There's some big Division III schools out there. So most people say, well, if it's Division I, it's great. Everybody want to be on Division I level. No. Division III just as good. You know what I mean? The only difference is that it's money involved in Division I, Division II, Division III. There's no money.
Yeah, the division is the scholarships. Just the difference, right?
Right.
And
There's a difference.
most I told. Sorry, go ahead.
So you're getting paid for your, you're getting paid to, give me your skills. You know what I mean? So you're getting paid to like play, pretty much. So I'm giving out $200,000 a year. I mean, $200,000 in 4 years. That's what I'm giving. To play for me for 4 years, I'm giving you $200,000. So, yeah, with $200,000, then you got to have some good damn talent.
Yeah, and commitment too. You don't screw me around and just come here and then change your mind.
Right.
Yeah.
So and it's like it's more than just volleyball too. It's community service. It's weightlifting. It's spring season. It's everything. You know what I mean? So when it's time to do things, you ain't gonna have much time. And some kids out there don't understand the life of Division I player. They don't have a lot of time. Everything devoted to us. It's like you said, job interview. It's a full-time job when you're on full scholarship.
Yeah, and you're in a relationship. If you show up, your team is going to be pissed, and they're going to get you're going to let them down, and you're going to have a dysfunctional relationship going on.
Yeah, you want to keep your scholarship, let's show up. So, but for most schools, they don't take away scholarships unless it's like a really bad deal. But with us, we uphold our 4 years, and whether if you screw up sometimes, but the only way we take it away from you is academically. Like if you're not academically, in, we can take that scholarship with you. So, and not everybody's fit for doing both, because the time management skills have to be like impeccable.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I know that for me, it was 5:30 in the morning workouts. It was then you go batting and pitching, and then it was afternoon scrimmages and games. So your school was in the center of the day, but you had a full day every day.
Right.
Is that normal for every sport? Is that what it's like?
It's normal for most sports, yeah. We usually go in the morning, like you guys. We didn't go 5:30 in the morning, but we go 7:30 in the morning. So we go 7:30 to 9 or 9:30, and then the kids have class at 10 to like 3, and then like 4 o'clock is lifting, eating, and then 6, 7 o'clock is pretty much your time doing. But then 6, 7 o'clock, kids are studying, in studios and stuff like that.
Does your school have study hall hours too? We had an hour a day.
Yeah, we have study hall hours. So it's for us it's 6 hours a week for freshmen. So it's 6 hours a week is not too bad. If you go in an hour and a half every day, we have a whole classroom of people, studying, doing study hall, and then we have like our academic people in there. So you have to sign in, sign out, that kind of a deal. And then we do study hall hours on the road as well.
Okay.
So they have to do it on the road. So whether we go to a hotel, we're in a hotel, and we hold study hall hours at the hotel as well.
So I just got a text from Potter, but I don't know if I can answer it. Can I look at the text? Am I going to lose you?
Yeah, I guess so. Let me
look. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're blank on me.
I don't know if I'm still there or not, but we'll see what he does. Emma Calderon said, "Thank you for the great info."
Oh yeah,
we can take calls. You can get messages. Take calls.
This is Emma Calderon. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
He said he was trying to get back on, so I don't know what. He's in Pennsylvania right now, so he's got that Pennsylvania website.
Yeah, he's got the Amish website going on.
That Pennsylvania internet.
Outside cranking the crank, get going, getting the motor moving.
Hey, so while we on this live call, and ask you a question here. So, what are you guys planning for the fall? Are you guys planning to come back in the fall? Is that working? I know for us we are, but we're going to be late.
As far as phys ed goes, we're trying to plan 2 things. Actually, we have multiple things we have to figure out. We have to figure out if the college is available and what the CUNY schools are doing for their facilities. We have to figure out what our high school plan is if they are or aren't available. And then we're also trying to figure out what we're doing if we're going back on time or if we're going to be remote. So we've got different things to do, and we've been talking about all of it. And I think we're trying to figure out how to modify the remote learning that we've been doing to make it more and more hands-on. And if not, we also have to figure out if we're in the building. You've been in Hunter's building. There's so much traffic in that downstairs hallway. How are we going to control that and also have the locker rooms available for so many people all at once? So there's lots of non-class related issues we have to figure out too.
Right, so right. When do you guys know? Do you guys know at any point, at any time? Like when are you going to know, like, this is going to happen or just not going to happen? Are you going to have a season? Are you going to have a lacrosse season?
I don't know. I think the fall seasons are still being communicated. They're not. The PSEL sent out a survey about getting together a forum that we're going to meet together for anyone who wants to volunteer and discuss what the next steps can be. So that hasn't met yet, but they're starting to figure things out now too. So, I mean, I know that bowling, when we have a bowling match, it's all sport. Yeah. I mean, if you bring your own bowling ball, you're not really worried about sharing bacteria, but you might not be able to sit more than 2 a lane or something like that, which means the whole bowling is jam-packed.
Right. So how did you do remote learning, like toward the end of this year? How did you do it?
We've been doing more like high-intensity interval training workouts on the days that we do meet, and the days that we don't meet, we have them fill their own activity logs out and their discussion boards. And we've kind of, gone around and kept the phys ed oriented questions, and then some, try to like lighten things up since things have been getting so jam-packed on the real world side that we've tried to lighten up the questions too. Ask people, how's your diet changed? Even, nutrition is still a part of phys ed. So how's your diet this week? And, what have you done to help it? What might have you done that kind of, didn't help it? And I've got answers as funny as like rationing my candy and, couldn't go more. So I had to eat, less per day, things like that. So, and then some people say, well, my mom's been buying healthy food and I can't get my own junk food, so I'm stuck. So it's interesting answers and, good conversations, which I think it's good. Everyone seems engaging with it.
Right.
And the live classes have been outstanding. You get at least 75% of the kids have their cameras on and they're moving and they're doing stuff.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you do like Zoom or WebEx or something like that? Or?
Zoom. So we have the it's hard to, actually when I do the live classes, I put it on my TV. So I have a big screen TV. I plug the computer into the TV and I can see everybody in about, a good sized screen. So if they're slacking, I can call them out.
Oh, so, that's good. That's good.
Your screen though, you can't tell; it's too tiny. So
yeah. Oh, it's been pretty interesting to fall. Same thing for us. Like we're not allowed to fly. We might even have a conference because our conference is in Florida. So we have teams in Nashville, Tennessee. We have teams in Louisville, Kentucky, Atlanta, Georgia, Florida. So we were restricted not to fly as now. But that might change. But then it's like, how do we get on flights? Do we skip every seat? Do we all get on the same flight? So,
how does that affect you? I mean, if they say no flights in your season,
exactly.
We said you gotta go.
The internet's terrible.
Can
you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll wrap things up. I hope you guys had a good conversation when I was gone.
Yeah, we did. It had some good combo.
All right. I had a lot more. I had a few more questions for you, but I'm glad you guys were able to fill it in. Anything else you want to mention, Coach, or anything else you want to talk about?
No, I just think that, when you're doing the recruiting process, it's a process, right? So it's never too late. Whether if you in your, senior year, it's never too late. You can always reach out to schools. Obviously, the school that you are aiming towards is going to be, it's going to be slim. Your options are going to be slimmer. But if you are, in the 9th grade, 10th grade, it's not too early. It's never too early to get your stuff out there to coaches. Some people say, well, 9th grade, 10th grade, I'm not there yet. Some parents don't want to think about it. So let's not be selfish to the parents. The parents have to really think about it. A couple of parents I talked to, I say, what are you doing? And she, oh, my kid's only in the 10th grade. Like, this is the time. Like 10th grade is the time. Like, oh, I haven't thought about that yet. Like, I don't want to think about my kids going to college. Like, yes, think about your kids going to college, especially if they're interested in playing sports.
Yeah, I do hear that a lot. Like a lot of 10th graders or 11. They're just like, oh, it's too late. I can't do it. I can't. I had to do it in 8th grade, and I was like, no, you can still do it. Especially, I think in the D3 world, it's a later recruiting, right? Junior, senior year.
Yes, yeah. So junior, senior years, you do. That's why I said, like, if you're D1, you're looking at 9th, 10th grade, looking at recruiting, and as you go 11th and then in 12th grade, you're probably looking at some D3 schools that are probably, if you're actually a good athlete, you probably get picked up.
So with this year,
okay,
just didn't have a season. So would you as coach be open to having a 9th grader send you a highlight reel of them in their backyard?
Yeah.
Mom or dad ball at them and
yeah, especially from a 9th grader, absolutely. If it's from an 11th grader or 12th grader, probably not. But a 9th grader, for sure. Because then I know like this person's really into volleyball. If you're in your backyard, you're doing stuff in your backyard, then you're a volleyball player, baller, so to speak. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. And you want that conversation, even if it's a 9th grader, just to put themselves on a radar. That's okay.
Yeah, you have to put yourself on the radar, because if you don't, then we will never know about you. Especially, if you're not in a club or something like that, because we would never explore you if you're not on that platform. So if you're just like lacrosse player who doesn't have club season, then we want to see as much as possible.
So you got me thinking now. So on the wavelength of, I've got 9th graders for phys ed class that might need some, pushing to do some extra work because they haven't done their work, or they're looking for things to do. Encouraging them to make a highlight video for college coach, just as an assignment idea. Make skills. Show me your skills of your favorite sport. Make a video, and then for those kids that have potential of playing in college, now send coach.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. But I mean, like you said, the kids have to want to do it, and it has to be like, generally, from the heart of the kid, not just I just want to just throw up a ball and look silly and stuff like that. So yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. I always wrap it up with asking our guests 5 questions. Speed round. You ready?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Ready? Favorite go-to app right now?
Oh man, Spotify.
Okay. Favorite food?
Oh man, pizza. Right now, pizza.
Favorite movie?
Face Off.
Oh wow, I like that movie. Face Off. Okay. Best stream right now. Best stream.
What do you mean?
Like, what's your show you streamed lately? What are the best show you've really hit?
Me and my wife, we watch Fuller House.
Oh, Full House?
Fuller House. It's grown up, but it's now called Fuller House.
Okay, I got to ask 2 more now. Jordan, LeBron.
Jordan, 100%.
Okay. And do you have a great, this is like, do you have a great recruiting story in that theme, or something that just anything like that you like to share, or craziness or good stuff or bad stuff?
A great recruiting story? Man, I have a lot. I don't have one on my end.
What was your favorite moment of this year at coaching college for your girls? Did you have a great moment?
Yeah, I think we outcoached FDU. We went to 5 games, and we did a whole bunch of switching. We did a whole bunch of, they didn't know what we were doing. But we knew what we were doing. They didn't have any idea. So we beat them in 5, 15-13 in the final. But at the last moment, we made this one switch. And the girl just, she blocked the one girl, and we just turned to each other like, yeah, we outcoached them. So it was good. Wow. It was fun. Yeah, it was fun.
Oh, that's so great. All right. Well, I hope you come back. We have so many more questions for you, and maybe we'll get some student athletes on next that can, want to ask questions. Or we had some questions on the comments, but I couldn't read them. My internet doesn't work. All right. So thanks so much, Coach Bello and Coach Basso. I really appreciate this, and I'll I'll definitely give this out to a lot of parents at Hunter. I think it's really helped. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's what not Basso Potter. If you can send my email out if they have any other questions or whatever, and send them if they want a copy of the PowerPoint that I made for the recruiting. I think it'd be helpful for the parents.
Oh yeah, the PowerPoint is on the Hunter website as we speak. If you go to the links and forms, it's there, or you can email Coach Bello. And that's it. We're going to end this. If you guys want to stay on for a second, that'd be great.
Perfect.